Home sellers are being forced to give you killer buyer's incentives. Here are just some of those incentives.
If you want it, here it is. Come and get it. Make your mind up fast.
First, we're going to talk about why these sellers are being forced to do what they're doing. Second, we're going to talk about the actual incentives. I'm going to give you the actual incentives that we see inside of MLS as the real estate agents. Third, I'm going to go over a whole different angle to this that you probably didn't consider, and it could really help you greatly to know. CBS, CNN, Yahoo Finance, and pretty much everybody else in that same wheelhouse are reporting that there are way more sellers nationally than there are buyers, and that's pushing the entire real estate market nationally towards being more of a buyer's market. Here in Myrtle Beach and the Brunswick Islands too, you can see that trend play out over the past couple years. The number of homes that you see sitting on the market for sale has risen steadily since 2023, and that's both single-family homes, condos, townhouses, the whole mess. From May 2023 up to May 2025, if you look at the numbers, Myrtle Beach has basically added another 1,300 something homes to its inventory that it can't get rid of. Brunswick Islands, about 900 or 1,000. And that's brought us to where we are now. Sellers who are selling a pre-owned home, they're having to cut the price of that home just to make it marketable, just to make it compete. New homes, condos, townhouses, they're having to sometimes cut the price. Sometimes they offer incredible incentives on these houses that you can't get anywhere else, like as far as closing cost assistance, interest rates, that kind of thing. Quick note before I get into the incentives. We are shooting in my actual kitchen. I know it looks like a green screen kind of sort of, but this is my house. I am shooting in here because the past 2 weeks it's been alternating between sunshine and just sheets of rain, and there's no way that we can get outside and shoot safely for the cameras anyway. We like to get outside normally because we want to show you the beauty and the splendor of like this gorgeous beach that we are blessed to live in and that you are thinking of moving to. And we do all that so you can get the best YouTube experience possible. And if we do all that for you just for a YouTube video, imagine what it'd be like if we were helping you buy a house. Okay, on to the incentives. First up is Toll Brothers. Toll Brothers is a mid to high-end kind of luxury builder. They have subdivisions in North and South Carolina. Some of the popular subdivisions, you'll see their name on it. They have a kind of a step up mortgage product starting at 4.49%, ending at 6.49% in year 3, which basically what that means is they're going to give you a break on your first couple years worth of mortgage. And then you get a decent mortgage at 6.49 after the third year, all the way up to year 30. Pawleys Homes in Del Webb, North Myrtle Beach. That's a 55 plus community. This is particular to that community and that community only. They have what amounts to a discounted first 7 years at 4.875%, which is pretty much, if you look at the rates right now, that's like 2 whole points lower on average than what you're going to get otherwise for the first 7 years. And that's pretty awesome. Pawleys is a mid to high-end luxury builder, just like Toll Brothers. They build nicer places, and again, that's a 55 plus community. It's one of the few 55 pluses in Myrtle Beach. You would think there would be way more, but there's not. The importance of getting a lower rate on a home if you have to finance it cannot be overstated. The effects of getting that lower rate are dramatic. Great Southern Homes, they're more of a regional builder. They have stuff in South Carolina. They are kind of a low to mid-end, more affordable places. They are currently offering, they're making their places even more affordable. For the first year, you can get 4.49%, and then it jumps from year 2 to year 30 to 5.49%, which is still like a full 1.5 points below current market rate as of the recording of this video. and they're offering $5,000 closing cost assistance. Not bad. Meritage Homes, they are kind of a national builder. They have like low to mid end stuff, kind of like Great Southern Homes, but, and this is a huge but, they hang their hat on being energy efficient. So their homes are, you know, state of the art when it comes to insulation. They have that spray foam insulation inside the walls. They pride themselves on the fact that they're like your power bill. It's not going to go fly. It could be 100-degree summer and your power bill won't hardly go up. I think that's really cool. They are offering a 3% assistance to you that you can use how you want. You can use it towards closing costs. You can use it towards to get a rate buy down. You could do both. It depends on how you want to set it up. But 3%, that's a good amount when you think about 3% of $400,000 house. That's 12 grand, right? Here's 12 grand to do what you want with. Okay. And disclaimer here, okay? The new home developers, they can and will change their incentives at the drop of a hat. They usually change them up at the end of the month. Sometimes they change them up mid-month. Sometimes conditions apply, like, hey, you have to use my lender in order to get that special rate, and that makes sense, right? But the point is these incentives that I'm reading you, these are all temporary. Every one of them is going to be situational. Sometimes they expire soon. Sometimes they expire late. Maybe they're going to drag them into July. Maybe they won't. Sometimes they're situational to exact floor plans or exact situation or exact subdivisions. It just depends. Every one of them is unique. And if you have any questions, we can answer them for you, but you got to reach out and ask. And that brings us to D.R. Horton. D.R. Horton is the biggest national builder in the United States and probably elsewhere. They're a low to mid-end builder. They have some high-end stuff too. They are like the bang for the buck king. When somebody comes to me and they're like, you know, I don't have a lot of money, but I need a lot of square footage, D.R. Horton more often than not can hook those people up. Currently, D.R. Horton is also offering 5.5% fixed for a 30-year term. And again, that's like a 1.5 below market rate right now. That's a good deal. Then there's Dreamfinder Homes. Dreamfinder Homes is more of a southeastern thing. They build higher end stuff. There's no doubt about that. Their current offerings are actually complicated. I'm literally going to have to read this off my card because I've tried to read this like 15 times and it's not working. So anyway, I'm going to actually hold my cue card up right in front of the camera just so you can get the good information. Now this is just for their move-in ready homes. They are offering 2.99% for the first year, 3.99% for the second year, 4.99% for the third year, $5,000 in closing cost assistance, and they're throwing in a refrigerator, washer and dryer, and blinds if you get a house from them on those certain pre-tagged houses, their existing inventory. And that brings us to Starlight Homes. Starlight Homes is new to the area. They kind of like to build out in the country a little bit. We've got 2 subdivisions in Myrtle Beach and they're trying to expand after that. They have mid-end to basically low to mid-end stuff, but it's really nice. I'll tell you a story about that in a second. The incentive they're offering is pretty wild. First year, 1.99%. Second year, 2.99%. Third year, 3.99%. Fourth year, you can guess at this point, 4.99%. And it's going to stay at 4.99 for the rest of the loan. That could potentially be life-changing for somebody who's on the edge of being able to afford a home and not be able to afford a home. That's going to get them in the door. So, a quick word. The reason that the entire real estate market is like this is almost solely because of consumer confidence. If you think back to 2023 and 2024, well, you had the election. And now that we're rolling into 2025, you would think that things would be fixed, right? As far as consumer confidence. But apparently it's riot season in the United States. And just this week, somebody who was trying to build a nuclear weapon to take out another country, well, that other country turned around and took that country out. And as long as stuff like that is happening, that's going to shake the markets. It just is. You'll see it on the news, and basically it'll have like a chilling effect down into the real estate markets. Well, Warren Buffett had a really nice quote. He said to be greedy when other people are fearful. And right now there are a bunch of people in the potentially in the buyer pool who they're not buying simply because of consumer confidence. If you have the ability to do that, if you can get past all the crazy in the world and realize the deals that are here and take advantage of this stuff, you're basically stepping in line in front of everybody else. And a couple years from now, when those same people are back in the market, they're going to be like, well, how come they got such a good deal and I couldn't? Well, it's because you stood up and raised your hand. Somebody who did stand up and raise their hand, Mr. Gary, Indiana. He is a cool dude and he's a disabled vet. So I guess he raised his hand twice because he got a house and he raised his hand to join the army. We were home shopping and we were shopping with his dad, who also moved here before them. I helped them as well. Their mom had a headache at the time, so she couldn't come. But it was basically the three of us in the car running around looking at houses and having fun. Well, we stumbled into one of these incentive deals, right? They were offering 3.99% on a certain house. This particular builder at the time, they were only offering it on certain houses in the subdivision. Other ones, not so much. So we saw an incredible place and he's like, you know what? Because he was just looking for an itty bitty little place. It was just him, right? Just him and his pooch. And for the same money, he could get, instead of like a little 2-bedroom, 2-bath kind of a cottage thing, he could get like a full-blown 3-bedroom, 2-bath with bells and whistles for the same monthly payment, just like I had illustrated before. Well, we were like, you know what? It's lunchtime. We're going to go get lunch and then we're going to come back and we're going to tell you, what's going to happen. And as we were driving to lunch, right, we were like, you know what? We're going to get this place. The builder called us on the way to lunch and was like, hey, guess what? Somebody literally bought it out from underneath you in the time it took to leave the subdivision and go get food. And we're like, dude, come on. So we ate and we regrouped and then we went back to that same subdivision. The builder was so nice to him. They had another house that they kind of were going to offer the incentive and they kind of weren't. But they actually gave him the exact same incentive that he would have gotten on the house that was sitting for longer on a newer place. He got 3.99% on a house that he really shouldn't have gotten 3.99% on. And again, life-changing. The guy's got a huge place considering what he needed. He got all this extra stuff for the same money. And that could happen to you. But just like with him, you got to raise your hand. So you have watched this all the way through, and that means you are a dedicated buyer and you are dedicated to learning about buying here at the beach, and you're doing it the smart way. But if you're buying here, that probably means that you're also selling wherever you're at. You've got your place in your hometown that you're trying to sell to get here, and there's potentially a huge issue with that. From the seller's perspective, from your perspective in your own hometown, there are two fixes to this. I'll talk about the problem itself and the two fixes for it in the video here to the left. If you've already seen that, here's another video you might like. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna go eat breakfast.